I'm Terry McFeely. I am a total fabric DIYer. Today we are going to be making a Fascinator. And what I love about Fascinators is that you can make them to fit just about any fashion era. Today we're going to be making a Fascinator in the flapper fashion era. And the peacock feathers were very popular in the 20s. So I have selected my fabrics using those colorways. Before we get started though, we are going to treat our fabric with a liquid fabric stabilizer. The fabric stabilizer is going to give our fabric a nicer hand, and it's also going to keep the edges from fraying. To treat the fabric, we are just going to take, in a dry sink or a bowl, we're going to take your fabric and we are going to spray it until it's saturated on both sides. I like using the wide spray, which is not that one. Here we go. And we're going to flip it over. And then I like to fold it and kind of squeeze it so that it gets distributed evenly. All right, now that once that it's completely wet, we're going to line dry until it's about damp. And then we're going to finish drying it with an iron. Once it's dry, it's almost paper-like, but it still is very sewable. You can iron it. It won't gum up your machines. It's a very, very nice medium to work with. So here are our patterns. This is a free downloadable pattern that I have created that you can go to the website and get the pattern. This other pattern is a fabric flower pattern that we'll be using. And once everything's cut, we're going to start with the calla lily first. You'll notice that I have used a base stitch. I've back tacked one end, and we're going to take the bobbin thread and we're going to pull it. And we're going to gather the calla lily body to about 1.5 inches. And the gathers are what gives the petal its fullness. So once we have it, now I'm going to pull on the top thread here, and that's going to lock our stitching. So then I can go ahead and just grab my scissors here, cut the threads, and we're ready to get started. I use a low heat hot glue gun. I like the mini. The low heat's very important so you don't burn your fingers. I have prepared a spadix, which is the center of the flower, and I've put a wire in there. We're going to put a little dot of glue in the center, and then we're going to press the spadix down and hold it there till it's dry. Then we're going to put a little dot of glue on the right side, and we're going to wrap over the spadix, and we're going to do the same on the left side, and hold it down. I think I've dropped my sash, but here it is. Okay, so this is a little sash that holds everything together, and we're going to start by putting a little dot of glue in the center. We're going to take the flower, put it face down, lining up the edges, and then we're going to wrap it. We're going to put a little glue, wrap to the center, and then on the other side do the same. There we go. And to give the flower its natural curl, I'm going to be using a 1/2 inch hot curling iron. So I'm just going to grab, I'm going to curl, hold it there a few minutes, few seconds. And you can curl as much or as little as you like. I think the older a calla lily is, the more that it's open. So we'll just curl a little bit more here. And then also the tip, I like to curl it a bit. So we will set that aside and we're on to the leaf. The leaf has a dart sewn in it, which is going to act as a casing. We're going to take a 20 gauge floral wire and we're going to insert it into this dark casing. We're going to cut, and then we're going to finger press it open. So those are our flower parts. Now on to the fascinator. The fascinator has a nice piped edge, so I have clipped the piping so that when I go to sew it, it'll easily sew down, which I have done. And now I'll place wrong sides together, the top piece on, and we're going to go to the machine and we're going to finish stitching this. We're using a zipper foot. And we're just going to go ahead and just sew around. And since the fabric's been stabilized, we can just use the raw edge right up against the piping. So once that's stitched, we can move on, and we're going to close the seam up. We're going to be using a regular foot, which I'll install here quickly. And we're going to be sewing a 1/4 inch seam. And there we have it. Okay. So now on to the fun part. We are going to decorate the fascinator. But first, we're going to glue a hair comb in so we have something to hold to the hair. We're going to put it perpendicular to the seam with the teeth facing out. Next, we're going to take the calla lily and we're going to bend it ever so slightly so that it fits the curvature of the fascinator, and we're going to just glue it down. Then we're going to take the leaf, we're going to put a bead of glue at the base and glue it face down. And then we have these wonderful feathers. This first one is an art feather. We're going to put a bead of glue on it. We're going to glue it face down, kind of veering off in the opposite direction of the leaf. You can get creative here. And then we're going to glue, well, let's go this direction. Glue a feather on top of that one. The next feather. You're just going to kind of layer these, all veering off to the right. Kind of a fan shape, which was also very popular in the 20s. And finally our last feather. And then I like to use a decorative button. You can use a pearl, you can use rhinestone, whatever goes with the era of fashion your fascinator is being made for. I'm just going to place that on top of the feathers just to kind of clean it up. Hold it till it's securely dry. And then we can shape the feathers and the leaf. There. And once you're done, this is the best part. You get to wear it.